So what I want to talk about now is the concept of social enterprise or social entrepreneurs. So just as we saw with environmental issues, entrepreneurs can also use entrepreneurial processes as a way of supporting and helping out with social problems. And in fact, a lot of entrepreneurial activity actually occurs in the social entrepreneurship space. So social entrepreneurs are very much concerned about how they can engage in business activities that lead to positive social outcomes, whether it's alleviating poverty, providing access to education for people, improving people's access to nutrition and food. Their real underlying motivation is not just to make a profit, but to also operate a business that has good social outcomes. So social entrepreneurs are a particular category of entrepreneurs who still exhibit many of the same characteristics we would expect to see of a normal entrepreneur, except for the fact that they are also driven by a strong social mission. So they have this underlying belief that the reason we get into business, the reason we're engaging in this business process, is to solve specific social problems. And they use business approaches to do that. So let's take solving access to food as a problem. Groups like Food Bank, for example, here in Australia, run social programs where they collect food from manufacturers that is going to waste or is not going to be used, and they distribute that food to people in need, so people who haven't got money or haven't got access to supermarkets to buy the quality of food that they need. So they're really driven by this sort of strong motivation about achieving positive social outcomes. They're socially motivated. And social business does tend to often blur the lines between normal business and also between not-for-profit organisations. And what this figure here does, and it's discussed a little bit in your book, is try and explain for you that where the social enterprise space is, or where the social business space is. So one of the things that we know distinguishes social business and social enterprise from for-profit business is that its underlying motivation is not the bottom line in terms of making profit or maximising profit, but instead it's about maximising social benefit. So maximising the return that they provide to the society in which they're embedded, the society in which they're based. So the defining characteristic that actually distinguishes them in that way is that they are driven by the social motivation. In terms of what differentiates social business and social enterprise from not-for-profits, is that social enterprise and social businesses still tend to make their money through some form of sales or transaction. So there's an earned element to the way they make money. Charities and not-for-profits, on the other hand, tend to make their money through contributions, not through the direct sale of products or goods. Now again, the line is a little bit blurred there because some charities and some social organisations like the Salvation Army or like the Red Cross also raise some of their operating money through the sale of goods. So social enterprises tend to be very much about maximising the social benefit, but doing that through the lens of a traditional business operation. So when we think about social entrepreneurs, we need to think about their mindset. What defines them as being different from the normal entrepreneur? Now, in Chapter 2 and in the previous topic, we talked very much about this notion of the unique characteristics of an entrepreneur. And it's certainly true that social entrepreneurs share some of those characteristics. They're passionate, they're committed, they're motivated, they're focused, they're goal-focused, they're outcomes-driven. But on top of that, they're also very much driven by the need to contribute to their society. For the social entrepreneur, they believe that the best thing they can do is use business as a way to return positive benefits to their social system, whether it's their local community, whether it's their city, their nation state, or the global social world. They're very much motivated by this desire to contribute or to give something back. So rather than making profit just for profit's sake and for their own benefit, they try and make profit as a way of funneling that money into social causes. So if you think about here in Tasmania, Zambrero, which offers Mexican style food to consumers is an example of a social enterprise. They run their business and operate their business as a way of actually trying to raise money to fund food-based programs in developing places. So when we think about the mind of the entrepreneur, we also want to think about this sustainability approach and how that might flow through into the entrepreneur's thinking and thoughts. And so again, when we think about sustainability and green issues, we know that entrepreneurs who are interested in this area, who are driven by environmental outcomes, tend to be very much focused on running a business in a way that balances environmental, economic and social outcomes. So trying to achieve what we would refer to as the triple bottom line. And a lot of entrepreneurs today really value this opportunity to operate a business in this sort of balanced scorecard way. And entrepreneurs who engage in social activities, so social entrepreneurs, tend to see gaps in the market in different ways. Okay, so what they try and do is to, rather than sort of compete, they're trying to find ways of operating in the business world which is positive for the social setting.